Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here, this time reviewing on issue 2 of Star Wars Union. Now, as you know, Star Wars Union was a 4-issue series that was meant to feature the wedding between Luke Skywalker and Mara Jade. And the best I can say about Mara Jade is that she's a character that worked because, again, Luke was able to help her get into the light. And you can tell that Mara Jade was also meant to be his own version of Padme, but having a character with a dark past but able to overcome it. And Union is obviously meant to be this kind of wedding, extraordinary special like story, and kind of having that sort of over-the-top wedding style plot. So the cover mainly has Luke on his stag night with his friends duking it out. And the story starts off with Luke having a nightmare about a giant skeleton-like creature and thorn bushes. We see how he remembers all the people in his life, both good, bad, dead, or alive, and even saying, "Why are they here? At the place where I will step into the future?" And even has more nightmares, but wakes up and realizes it was a bad dream, but even starts to question it. We see how former Moths have ganged together, and of course want to kind of personally get revenge on Luke for not only destroying the Empire, but leaving them rock bottom. And we kind of see how Mara Jade and the others talk about things that are now better without the Empire, but knowing that there's still a bit more work to be done. And even saying the liberation frees everyone to celebrate, to enjoy, lies despite the hardship of the war. The party we had at my wedding. And of course, we kind of see how they're still talking about everything that's happened with Coruscant and all that. But we see how the former Moths are obviously still kind of studying things. But I also like how during the whole museum thing, we see how one of the former Moths says, "It's been preserved, all of it. They made it political, not historical. They have made this a monument of the truth, not a monument to it. It's obvious, this exhibit, an exploded view of the Death Star." And you can tell where both sides, we kind of see how a mum and a daughter talk about what happened with the Empire and her and their husband and father. We kind of see how the former Moths talk about how the Empire was the greatest threat known to man. But you kind of see how one side had to deal with the effects of it, while the other side is meant to believe that they had once been this great, proud of warriors. But you do see how one of them starts to question if we really were the good guys. And this kind of reminds you when you were fighting in a war, or when you had a path that you thought was the right thing, but having to question it. We kind of see how at Luke and Mara Jade's ceremony, we kind of see how, with Luke now changing things for the Jedi Order, he now realizes attachment was never a bad thing, and of course abolishes it now. And we kind of see how both Luke and Mara Jade do their ceremony, bring the two crystals together, and their ceremony complete with Jedis from other planets, races and that, celebrating in a Jedi fashion. And we kind of see how the former Moths are studying and analysing the whole new temple, and we see how one of the residents do question them and saying that they're just exterminators, despite it being obvious that they're shady guys. We kind of see how later during the night, Luke and Han Solo and the others are going to Luke's personal stag night, and they end up meeting former friends, teammates, as well as people that they've met during the days of when the rebellion kicked off, and give a toast to Luke for his marriage. And of course, we see how in the typical movie bar fashion, it all goes into a Roadhouse over-the-board storyline. Everyone duking it out, fighting over the top, and so forth. And we do kind of see what I'm saying. "You okay, kid?" "Sure, next time Let's go for the Crypt Dragon. You'll marry Amara. Do you really think there will be a next time? And we do kind of see how, after the fight's all sorted out, we do kind of see how the former Moths make their getaway, and of course talk about their plan to take down Luke Skywalker. And later on, we do see how Mara Jade, as well as Luke, after, Luke's Stag Night, still talk about, being the best couple there is, still trying to work things out, and so forth. And this is the story. So I think issue 2 is definitely enjoyable, but you do see how the former Moths think that the Empire was this greatest thing that known to man, but they fail to see how much harm their actions had done. Well, you do see how people who either fought with the Rebel Alliance, like their friends, their families, the people that they known, do hold the Empire responsible, but you do see they still have to try and move on and accept things like normal people would do. It definitely shows where both sides think they were in the right, but you do see the problems on both sides. It's a cautionary tale that you might think you're the good guy on one side, but in another side, you might be the bad guy. So I think this issue definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.